Charles and Jessica had just returned from their wedding, filled with joy and excitement, believing they were stepping into a lifetime of love. What Jessica did not know was that her marriage had only just become her prison. That very night, Charles asked for Jessica's phone. Without warning, he removed her SIM card, handed her a small button phone, and calmly told her that for their marriage to work, new rules had to be followed. No calls, no visits, no male friends, no single female friends, not even family was allowed. Jessica stood frozen, staring at a man she no longer recognized. The next morning, when Jessica tried to step outside, she informed Charles as required. He handed her a face mask and warned her never to remove it. He said he did not want other men seeing her beauty and claimed he had people everywhere watching her movements. Fear slowly replaced the love in her heart. Days later, Jessica's chief bridesmaid, Ella, came to visit, but Charles refused to let her in. When Jessica's mother arrived after failing to reach her daughter on the phone, Charles lied and said Jessica had misplaced her phone and had stepped out to the market. Jessica was inside the house the entire time. When she asked who had visited, Charles casually told her it was her mother, reminding her again that family visits were forbidden. While Jessica struggled to understand the sudden change in her husband, Charles was secretly having an affair with a woman named Diamond. When Jessica finally visited her mother, she shocked her by wearing a face mask. She broke down and revealed everything: how Charles controlled her movements, isolated her, and made her life unbearable. Her mother advised patience and encouraged her to obey her husband. One night, Jessica confronted Charles, telling him she felt trapped and caged in her own marriage. Charles dismissed her pain and ordered her to stop complaining. This was her new life. Ella tried visiting again, but was stopped at the gate. When Jessica came out, she surprised Ella by also refusing to let her in. Confused, Ella asked if she was okay. Jessica quietly handed her phone to save her number so they could talk later. When Charles found out, he exploded, accusing Jessica of disobedience and warning her never to invite Ella again. That night, Charles forced himself on Jessica. The next morning, she told her mother she had been raped. Her mother dismissed it, saying marriage gave him the right. Jessica cried, realizing her suffering had no defender. Charles later claimed he was traveling for business, but instead he went on vacation with Diamond. Left alone, Jessica invited Ella over and finally poured out her pain. Ella was horrified, realizing Jessica's marriage was nothing but a prison. Days later, Charles returned home with Diamond, introducing her as a colleague, who could not go home because it was late. Jessica sensed the lie, but stayed silent. While Jessica cooked, Diamond walked in and casually asked for food. Jessica confronted her, and Charles responded by slapping his wife, accusing her of false allegations. Late one night, Charles returned home drunk and angry. When Jessica questioned him, he beat her again. Another time, his friend Francis visited. When Charles found them talking, he accused Jessica of infidelity and threw Francis out. That beating became Jessica's breaking point. Jessica told her mother she was done with the marriage. Her mother insisted she endure it. When she confronted Charles, he twisted the story, claiming Jessica disobeyed him and fell while running upstairs. Her mother believed him over her own daughter. Now free of resistance, Charles brought Diamond into the house permanently. But Diamond refused to cook, clean, or submit. She demanded luxury and independence. Slowly, Charles began to miss Jessica. One day, Jessica's mother visited Charles and met Diamond, who proudly introduced herself as his girlfriend. That was the moment her mother finally believed Jessica. She apologized for doubting her daughter. Soon after, Charles returned from the hospital furious. Diamond had infected him with an STI. He immediately ended the relationship. Full of regret, he went to Francis, apologized, and confessed that he had lost the woman who truly loved him. Charles went to Jessica, begging for forgiveness, claiming he had changed. Jessica shut the door on him. He tried her mother next, but she refused to listen. His last hope was Francis, who arrived only to learn Jessica had relocated to London. The movie ends with Charles alone, drowning in regret and alcohol, finally realizing too late that control, violence, and pride destroyed the love of his life.